All right, so today we are on chapter 10, lesson 3, modeling fractions with multiplication. And we're going to multiply a whole number by a fraction. And today we're going to be using repeated addition, which remember is really just multiplication. So if we get started here, you'll see we're going to use models today. So we're going to find 1/3 times 3. And we're going to use that repeated addition piece. So since we know that there's a whole number of 3, they gave you three over here, 3 wholes over here, but they broke them into thirds because we got 1/3 over here as our denominator. So imagine though, they kind of took an extra step here, which was nice of them, but we could have just started with 3 wholes, right? So there's our 3 wholes. And then because it's 1/3, we would know that we need to break each of these wholes into the denominator. So that would be 3 pieces. So you can see now that's how they ended up with this piece over here. Okay, so we're going to just use the models that they gave us because it's actually much better than what I just drew. So we're going to take, since the denominator is 3, each model is divided into 3 sections, okay? And of course, they're equal, and it's a model, so we do our very best. You don't need to get out a ruler. It's not an art class. Okay, so then in each of these wholes that have now been separated into thirds, we're going to shade 1 out of every 3. So if we have 1, 2, 3, we're going to shade 1 out of those 3. And then we're going to shade 1 out of those 3. And again, we're going to shade 1 out of those 3. Okay? So if you look at this, how many total pieces are actually shaded? So that's 1, 2, 3 pieces are shaded. Agreed? Okay? So if you add, oops, sorry, that's skipped ahead. Let's get rid of that. How many sections of each model are shaded? 1 section of each model is shaded, which means altogether there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's where the 3 goes down here. I got a little excited. All right, so now if we think about it, actually, let's finish this. If we think about it, if there's 3 sections shaded, we can come down here and go, okay, here's my 1, here's my 2, here's my 3 shaded sections, okay? So in each one, we had 1/3 shaded. There were 3 wholes. So now there's a total of 3 shaded pieces, and there's 3 sections, okay? And we know that 3/3 is equal to 1. So if you look at this, 1/3 times 3 equals 3 divided by 3, which is also equal to 1. Okay, let's go on to this next page. And go on to the top. All right, so we had here originally empty boxes, but I drew these lines to kind of save some times here. But we're looking for the unknown, which means we're solving for this answer here. And we want to do 2 times 3/4. So there were 2 empty boxes here, okay? I broke them into fourths because the denominator is 4, so we did 1, 2, 3, 4 sections in each of these. All right. Now again, we know that we want to do 3 pieces shaded in out of the 4. So here's 1, 2, 3 out of 4. And then again, 1, 2, 3 out of 4. So now all we did was redraw the boxes, the original boxes here, and we're going to transfer this information over here. So it means that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shaded. So over here we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason they're asking you guys to do this, to take this information and transfer it over here, is so that you can see how many wholes you're going to have. And I can now clearly see I have one complete whole right here. So I'm going to put that as my whole number. And then how many do I have over here? Well, I have 2 pieces shaded out of how many total pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4 total pieces. And hey, 1 2/4, that needs to be simplified, doesn't it? So if you look at this, doesn't it look like 1 whole plus another half? And if you think about it, 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our model clearly shows that there were 1.5 total pieces shaded, right? Okay, so we're going to actually skip down here. And these talk about it to go with those last 2 questions that you guys usually have trouble with on the paper. So you really want to think about these concepts here. So it says, explain why 2 times 3/4 is the same as 3 times 2 divided by 4. Well, this is preparing you for what's coming tomorrow when we're not working with models anymore. We'll just be working with numbers. So I'm going to rewrite this problem here, and then hopefully you guys can see why it's the same. Okay, so I've rewritten the problem here, and let's think about it. Every whole number is really a whole number over a 1, correct? So now we can multiply these fractions, which we were working on a little bit yesterday, and it's 2 times 3 is 6. And hey, look right here, 3 times 2. Those kind of go together, don't they? But let's finish this down here. And then you have 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, now let's check out this problem again. I'm going to add some little parentheses right here just to make this a nice little bundle. What's 3 times 2? 6. And this is divided by 4. And isn't this line right here saying divided by 4? Yep. So now, if we're solving this, 4 goes into 6 one time. And we have 2 out of 4 pieces left over. Which also we know can be simplified to, since we just did it, we know it can be simplified to 1 and 1/2. Okay. Now, how could we find this without models? Well, guess what? I just did it right here. Okay. So just explain to me down here, you would just explain how we went through this process. All right. It's going to head over to this next page. And we'll just do a couple so you guys know what you're doing and you know what to expect. We'll skip down to number 5 because it looks a little big. It's not, but it looks like it. So our whole number is 5. So they gave you 5 pieces here. So, or 5 wholes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, they were pretty nice to you. They gave you the model, which helps you out quite a bit, actually. Gave you the model, put the lines in it. So now you know, since 3 is your denominator, these are all going to be separated into thirds, right? Okay. And 2 is your numerator. So now we know we have to color in 1, 2 for each of these. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay, so we've colored in 2/3 out of each of these 5. All right, now we have to just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now we have 1, Oh, sorry, I should say now let's count how many holes that we have. How many whole pieces do we have? So we've got 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be our whole number is 3. And then we have how many left over that are colored? We've got 1. And what was our original denominator? 3. So 2/3 times 5 equals 3 1/3. Okay? This is really what you're doing today. So once you understand that you have to color in each of the little boxes, so for example, here you would color 2 out of every 5. So you would color 1, 2, right? 1, 2. And then once you finish that, you just transfer all this information over here and try to fill as many holes as you possibly can. All right. Good luck today.